Another long multiplication. This time we have 6,307 times 569. Same rules apply as before. Let's begin. 7 times 9 is 63. The 3 goes in the units, the 6 is carried over. 0 times 9 is 0, plus the 6 gives me 6. 3 times 9 is 27. The 7 goes in the hundreds column, the 2 is carried over. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 2 is 56. 6 and 5. Next row, I'm done with the units. Placeholder 0. 7 times, before we do that, let's erase the carryovers from the first row of operations. 6 times 7 is 42. Let's just write it here so that you can see clearly. The 2 goes there, the 4 is carried over. 0 times 6 is 0, the 4 has to be added, the 4 goes there. Now 3 times 6 is 18, the 8 goes there, the 1 is carried over. 6 times 6 is 36, plus the 1 is 37, the 7 and the 3. Now I'm done with the 60. Because I'm working with the hundreds now, I have to place 2 zeros as my placeholder. Let's erase my carryovers. And when I do this in a book, I always use a pencil for the carryovers because then you can rub them out and your work looks tidy and you can figure out what's happening. So 7 times 5 is 35. The 5 goes there, the 3 is carried over. 0 times 5 is 0, plus the 3 gives me 3. 3 times 5 is 15. I first go to the bottom, then I carry over. 6 times 5 is 30, plus the 1 is 31. And now I have to add these 3 columns, and that gives me 3. 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 7 is 16, the 1 is carried over. So I have 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 8 is 18. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 7 is 17, plus 1 is 18. I have 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 3. And that is my final answer. 3,588,683. Imagine now if you had to do this problem the long way. What would you have had to do? You would have had to say, how many multiplication sums would you have had to do? You would have said, you would have broken down 6,307. That's 6,307. Okay. That would have been multiplied by 9. Times 9, times 9, times 9. Then you would have had to take these same digits. And then you would have had to remember that there were 0 tens, and that makes a difference. Then you would have had to say, now I have to say 6,000 times 60, 300 times 60, and 7 times 60. Finally, you would have had to say 600 times 500, 6,000 times 500, 6,000, not 6,000, 300 times 500, 300 times 500, and 7 times 500. That means you would have done 9 multiplication sums, and then you would have had to add all those numbers, and each one of these steps is an opportunity to make a mistake. Therefore, it's very clear that this method is way shorter than the vertical method where you break the numbers down. You have to just focus on where do I carry over, and of course you have to know your multiplication tables. And this is long multiplication the short way.